unmuted, hopefully. And we are live. Live!
We are live.
Oh, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Fandible.
Listeners, watchers, whatever. Please tell us if we're audible. We still have, to this day,
Not
no
brought
idea
to you
what we're
by
doing.
Audible, but we will take your money if you want us to pimp your product.
Well, exactly. That's totally like. We have to do favorite books if we're doing Audible. I've recently read a book about.
I just finished the
about Halloween shoes. Pumpkin spice latte, the Chronicle.
There's that improv knowledge just
Yeah,
kicking
wow,
in.
those improv courses are paying off.
Oh yeah, $1,000 is totally
Yeah,
worth
for
it.
themselves, really.
Yeah.
I just finished actually the Hellbound Heart, which is the novella that Hellraiser was based on.
Oh,
It's a really good read, and it's a short read. And what's interesting is that the original Hellraiser, in some way, has been talked about as like it's actually a love story. But the novella actually does kind of portray it as a very depraved but love story between two people, one of whom got sent to hell. And it's really interesting. Clive Barker is a good writer, and so
wait, Clive Barker wrote the Hellbound Heart?
wrote it, yeah, and then
Okay.
directed and wrote the screenplay.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's entirely his vision. And what's interesting is Pinhead doesn't really feature that. Yeah, Pinhead was a creation of the movie itself. There is a Cenobite who has pins, but the pins have like dainty gems all over them. And yeah, the description of the Cenobites is so interesting. The description of what Frank, the guy who opens the box in the beginning of the movie, is expecting. There's like this weird. He describes this this weird ritual that you have to do. So, for instance, like in order to summon the Cenobites, one of the steps is you have to have like petals of flowers all over the floor.
Okay.
You have to offer them the heads of pigeons and the bodies separated. You have to have.
Kinky.
That's like toddler level shit. Like, no, I'm only gonna eat my mac and cheese if the mac and the hot dogs are said not touching. If they're touching, I'm not gonna. Jesus Christ! Just Cenobites as toddlers. Now there's.
I mean, they are in hell. They need something to amuse themselves with, I guess.
Cenobite babies.
Cenobite sharp doot 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 doot. Anyways, so yeah, I actually did read that recently.
Very nice.
Not on Audible. I could not imagine somebody sitting down and reading that. Probably except for Clive Barker.
Yep. And as his flesh flayed. Oh, I love this part. This guy's audio really captures the flame.
It's the timbre of his voice that really brings it to horrifying life.
Exactly.
But anyways, I am Professor Donnelly, joined by Professor Rodriguez. And Professor Rodriguez, here are the Fandible office hours here on Professor Rodriguez's Twitch channel. One day we will transition this over to the Fandible Twitch channel.
Will totally happen.
Yep. But it's just easier at this point to dance. And then we'll transition it and make sure everybody knows. And I don't know.
I mean, the defining characteristic of us as a show, as people, as everything is laziness.
I wouldn't call it lazy. I'm just not minimal effort.
Yeah, minimum effort.
Minimum effort.
Like, we get the thing out. There is a show. There is a podcast. There are recordings.
Exactly. So there's no procrastination. It's just we just do the minimum necessary to get the job done.
We are enthusiastically averse to work.
Exactly.
Anyways, so much like office hours, in a school setting, we are here to answer any of your questions, students.
Yes,
so please, we have an open door policy. Come on in. We cannot guarantee that how long we're going to be here.
I should note I cannot read from this far away.
No. I mean, yeah, I will tell you what they say.
Okay, please do so.
I don't know. I see a lot of text on the screen, and you're not telling us.
It's not much. We are Audible and Explorers Wanted. It did a Kermit flail.
Okay.
There are so far no questions.
Okay, fair enough. Then I guess we got a what's it called? Vape?
Vamp.
Let's vape.
How do you folks have like any kind of entertainment knowledge and not know that term? It's classic.
I've honestly never heard of that term until you mentioned it.
I've only known vamping as looking sexy in front of a camera.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, like we have a camera.
I'm
please.
physically incapable of that requirement.
All right, Jesus, we're counting on you. You've been working out. Do it.
Fuck, I gotta do push-ups now? Fuck. Okay.
Please, don't just flips the table.
You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Everyone's getting eyeful of
Here
chest
we go.
compressions. There we go. Look at my chest. Oh, this shirt isn't tight enough to showcase it. Fuck.
I find your lack of chest compressions disturbing.
Okay, that's... Oh, wait, no. Vader's head is kind of moving.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
That looks nice.
No, thank you. I know. I try.
I've never found Vader so fuckable.
Yeah, my pecs have gone to the dark side.
Yes, so Stephen Ortu mentions Fandible. We work it like our day jobs with minimum effort. And also the pecs, they do pop.
Thank you.
So there you go.
Oh, son of a bitch. Our producer's here to make sure that we're on union rules. Yeah, union rules as in he interrupted my dinner while we were setting up eating my dinner.
Yes.
That was great. That was absolutely
It's like
great.
a real producer, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like we've established that we get more engagement when the cat is on screen. So.
It's true. It's true. I would say the dog as well, but she is somewhat of a destructive force with her enthusiasm.
Yeah. Welcome, SkySark 42. It is in fact the cutest producer, and as Cloris Wanted mentions, cat.
Yes.
Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! The audience size did in fact just double. It's true.
Oh,
this is science. This is
that's
science.
fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
absolutely. So we're considering playing a game, recording a quick Rebel Radio later on today.
I mean, it is kind of off brand for us, but yeah, we're thinking about it.
We're considering it. Yeah.
But we're not thinking too hard.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, watchers all across the gender spectrum, please let us know if you have any ideas for a good Rebel Radio. It has to be, there are some rules. There are some rules. It has to be short, easily understood
By drunk idiots.
And it cannot be, gosh, I not too serious. Yeah. We have played some like serious games, but we butcher them. But that's
we straight up
butcher
them.
We're not, especially because we're drinking. I know it's a shock. I don't know how you get the idea we're drinking, but
so Jesus, by the way, even though we're on the clock in these office hours, what are you drinking?
I'm currently drinking a Maker's Mark, a nice little bourbon that really soothes me. I've recently discovered that I'm a big fan of bourbons. I was not a heavy drinker before, but you guys may not know this. Before I met David.
Now the viewers may not have heard that story. Right. Every time we talk about drinking at all, even in a roundabout sense, Jesus will stop and say, "You may not know this about me, but I didn't drink before I met David."
Listen, I didn't say I didn't drink 100%. I may have drank once or twice and then I stopped because a part of me had a soul.
Church
but then I met
wine
David.
Doesn't count.
Okay, fair enough. And then I went to David's house. We talked, and then I remember he just put these drinks in front of me, and well, I don't remember much after that. But I became an alcoholic after.
Needed to make you a man. You know? No, if there's one thing I can impart on my friends, it's how to stop from having the whiskey face, which is actually something I developed, like a systematic way to do it. And I remember that was one of the first things I taught you guys when I got all of Fandible to have a drink with me.
Yeah.
The one and only time everybody joined me. But I'm having a whiskey. I'm having a Tullamore Dew Irish, and we don't really drink Jameson in the house.
Ever since the incident,
issue a preference. Nothing against Jameson, but I just feel like there are so many other Irish whiskeys out there, and Jameson is like bog standard. You can get it at any bar. You know, I'm more of a Powers Irish whiskey guy because it has been described to me as the Jack Daniels of Irish whiskey, and I kind of like that.
Okay.
And I don't really like spending too much unless it's like a special occasion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Though I do want to start keeping it, listeners. I'm not going to get it because it's all the way over there. But I do have a specially made decanter. That fuck it, I might as well get it.
Well, could you get my Maker's Mark West right there as well, since you're getting up anyway? I really appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you.
And I'm going to unplug your computer.
Oh, God. Okay, fine.
There we go.
Well, in the meantime, let me just bring in a couple of quick listener comments. First of all, Sleepy, thank you for joining us. Hello to you too.
Thank you kindly,
Steve
sir.
mentions we were thinking of playing Street Fighter, the storyteller game. Never mind, needs to be easily understood.
Oh wait, there's a Street Fighter RPG.
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
Let's
yeah.
talk more.
Oh
about
right, yes.
It is not. I mean, it is a Rebel Radio game, but also it is not a Rebel Radio. Like you can't.
Is it complicated or
you can't just pick? Yeah, it was
okay.
like based on World of Darkness, if I remember correctly. It was weird. I mean, it wasn't based off it. It was made by the same people, and so it's more than it needs to be. You may not know this about Jesus, mentions Stevedore too, but before he met David, he had a better memory of events.
Hey, Jesus, tell me what The Strange is about.
There's two dudes, and they travel through the plains.
And they inexplicably throw grenades at people.
Why the fuck did you do that? I still don't know. I was pretty drunk, but even then I was like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
But you know what? The important part is that we tell compelling storylines.
True.
In Rebel Radio.
We do.
Compelling storylines like, are they going to have to go to the hospital after this?
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that decanter in front of you is a custom-made decanter that I got for running games for Rebel Radio, and sometimes. Oh no! I got that when I was running that D&D campaign with everyone.
Right.
And it says, I don't know if you can make it out, but it says roll for initiative on it. And
Nice.
the idea was near the end of the game when there would be the climactic battle or any sort of climactic conflict, I would bust that out because at that point it would be kind of on autopilot. I would just, everybody had to fight. All I had to do was check some stats so I could relax to a drink.
Right.
Because in all seriousness, I still have a lot of anxiety about running games.
Yeah.
I had a panic attack before I ran the Shadowrun game a little while ago. I usually get really, really shaky. Not as much now as I used to, but I would get really, really shaky before recordings with you guys, especially when Billy and Angela were still in town. It would just have, like, multiple times I would have to excuse myself and then, like, go splash water on my face and just, like, breathe.
I mean, right now there's a puke bucket just off camera.
Yep. Halfway filled.
Yep. Exactly. Because I want to summon the Cenobites.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. So yeah, I still get that. I don't know. Do you guys get nervous at all about what we do now?
Honestly, here's the strange thing. I don't think I ever did. Like,
yeah, Team Rodriguez over here was like born for the stage.
yeah, like kind of, yeah. But like, whenever I like run a game, I never get nervous. Like, you guys know, I don't like for a lot of my games. I don't really plan them out. I don't have notes. I just go forward. Like everything else, I get nervous about. Like, I get nervous about jobs. I'm dealing with family
I don't know if
stuff.
you guys
like,
know this, but before I met Jesus, I wrote notes for my games.
fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I get a little nervous before running games. I definitely do not get nervous before playing or even like before like live, anything like nah, man. Like I thrive on the limelight.
No.
But at the same time, the moment the limelight is done, it's like I need to be in a cave for a week now.
I'm very, very different. Like, I guess because I just
Your
love.
mic is way away from your face.
Sorry, I apologize for listeners. I apologize for the listeners, but I just love running games. That's why I guess part of me started Fandible in the first place. I just love running all these different games. I'm super excited about running any game for you guys. And like before, after, like during and after, like I'm like, okay, that game is over. What can I play next? Like out of everything else, I feel nervous in my life. For when it comes to role playing, like running games specifically, I'm like, let's do it and see what happens. Which is weird.
I don't know how you do it, but that's why you're such a prolific storyteller. Like,
thank you.
You're like the consummate GM.
Yep.
I mean, like when we were talking about getting together, it's just the three of us. We can run whatever we want.
Yep.
Your initial reaction is always, "I'll see what I can run."
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I feel like I have to like kind of ante up in the poker game that is who's gonna run something for the three of us and be like, or I'll see you run a game and I'll raise you. What if you just play for once? What if you just get to play?
Fair.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, all right, nobody's asking me to run. Fuck yeah, one more week where Dan wins.
Yep, you are such a funny person at the table, Dan, because you are incredibly good as a talker, but you hate playing the talker.
Yeah.
You're incredibly good as a GM. You almost never volunteer for the GM.
Look, man, that's when you're good at something, you can't just give it away.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
You got to know the worth.
Exactly. Because you know what the price of work well done? More work.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus. So you work with my office. That's it.
So we got a couple more quick comments.
Sure.
First of all, Explorers Wanted mentions maybe Necronautilus might be something we can
Necronautilus?
play. Necronautilus. We have the game.
Oh.
we back that one. It's on our folder.
Okay.
So that's one. Yeah, it's this sort of weird acid trip space.
Oh, right. That's the one where you're like in Dead Space, or
yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly.
like
it's
a dead dimension,
Yeah,
right?
it's like a dimension, where everything's dying. Or
Okay.
It sounds delightful.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been meaning to take a look at that one for a while. Slapey mentions, I've been GMing for decades and I still occasionally have panic attacks, mostly just nerves though. So, Dave, it's not just you, because Stevedore2 also says, no wonder he emphasizes with you so much the near crippling free-floating anxiety. Explorers Wanted also mentions that they also still get super nervous running a game for players that they haven't had before. It's the first time running a game for a stranger. Also, the first taste of Dan is free.
Oh my goodness!
This is true.
Nice.
Absolutely, ladies. Put that on your OkCupid profile. That actually. So when I run a game, especially for our lovely listeners, and please remember, if you are over a certain amount for our patrons,
I think it was 50.
50.
I believe
we will run a monthly game for you. We get asked
yeah.
periodically, but please, like, shoot us a message. An email on fandible@gmail.com. Get in contact with us. If you're a part of that tier, we will run a game. I've done it for Shadowrun. I think we all kind of play our specific flavors.
Yep, I've done it for Atomic Robo, I believe. Yes.
And it's super fun. And but when I do that, when I run for patrons, or when I even consider running at a con, which I most likely never will, I usually lean on the things that I know I'm good at, which is very thorough descriptions. Like I type up and print out settings. Those who listen to the Shadowrun game will know that I usually start with some sort of lengthy description to set a scene, and then I usually cap one off with it, or have, like, in the second act. Thank you, Dogberry.
Wow,
I don't know if it's picking it up, but he really, really wants to play.
Oh, yeah. Wow, he is.
What is? I can't see what he's.
Oh, he is like full stalking duty with one of his toys.
Yeah,
Jesus.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, he's making noises.
He's gonna knock
great.
over the camera. I know it. So I usually lean on the stuff that I know I'm good at, and I try to cover up my my weaknesses with that. Right. So, like, I'm really good at the talking, the description, and unique characters and, like, dialogue. Right. I usually get overwhelmed with the system rules because I almost never have an entire stat block for things like enemies, or in case my players decide to draw down on the Johnson of the game and shit really goes off the rails. So I try to make up for that with my, for lack of a better term, gift of gab. Do you two do anything like that? Like, what do you think your strengths are that you can lean on when you run a game, in case you just want to get sized up as a good storyteller?
I thrive in chaos.
I mean, witness the last 13 years.
Exactly. I thrive when because I
feel like you're doing an interview for the CIA. Like, I thrive in chaos.
I thrive in
All
chaos,
right,
and you will never find the bombs. No, I think my best term is, like, I don't really like to take, like, for a lot of my games, except for our longer games where I, like, actually have to remember what happened previously and expand upon the story. Like, especially when I first start out. Okay, let me rephrase. Numenera. I told you guys I would have a plan from the beginning. I told you guys I would have a plan to convince you guys to play Numenera. I lied. I mean, no, I didn't necessarily lie. I had planned to, and I didn't. And like, I decided to just I have you guys had your characters, you guys had your ideas of what you want to do, and just role played. And over the course of the story, as you guys committed your actions and as random rolls of the dice made random stuff happen, a story unfolded. I prefer that method of role playing.
Okay. Yeah.
I prefer to, like, just let the story grow naturally. Like, I don't like to have strict plans of, like, this is the big BBG, the big bag evil guy. This isn't gonna be totally the big bag evil guy. This is gonna be so great. I already know like the outcome. 100 episodes. I'm like, I have no fucking idea. But your guys' stories, your guys' interactions create the main story. So like, what happened by the end of Numenera, which is the final episode's going to happen in a couple of weeks. Trust me.
He promises.
I
promise.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Oh no,
So
no, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. But basically, like,
retard on that one.
I don't know, yeah, but basically, just like I had no ideas what the big bad evil guy was going to be. But like through their stories, through all of those episodes, it created an epic campaign that started from nothing, literally nothing. I had no plans to like, I think was a very satisfying ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so. And having been your player and your friend for like a decade, you never seem like you are caught unawares in a bad way. Sometimes we will come up with ideas that you raise your eyebrows at, and you're like, "Oh, your move is to go." Interesting.
we do surprise.
Oh, do you surprise me quite a bit?
Relatively often, but you're real good. You take those surprises. You're like, all right, I can work with that. Yeah.
No, seriously.
I love no. Here's the truth. I love it when you guys surprise me. Whenever, like especially in Hollow Metropolis, whenever in Hollow Metropolis, Billy pulls a Billy, like when he pulls like for that one, this is where he had the contract to convince the Fairy King that
kid.
and exactly
Yeah.
and he pulled up like, well played, sir. Well
I mean, that was
played.
so like I didn't know what he was getting at.
Yeah.
The entire like he really laid the groundwork. It's not like he just rolled a 20. It was
Yeah.
like,
It was
No.
he built that up.
I did have a plan for the like a member like for the Fairy King to like
we should probably describe for any viewers what we're talking about. The game that we're talking about is one of our completed series on Hollow Metropolis. You should check it out on Fandible.com.
Yeah, and in that particular session, the crew were meeting the fairy court essentially, like the Unholy Metropolis version, the blighted version, like so they're like and weird androgynous beings, and he's talking to the Fairy King, which was Oberon, thank you. And talking to Oberon, and the plan in my head was Oberon was gonna have him like, oh, I'm Oberon, super powerful. By the way, in this universe, Fae are uber powerful beings. You don't fuck with it, the Fae.
So different. Oberon's so different than every other game
Exactly.
where he's a pushover.
Exactly. And I had
Watch Gargoyles.
and I had planned for like Oberon to force like some sort of contract on Billy's character and like maybe make him do something with the court of the Golden King. And then Billy pulled this ultra move where he made the king sign this contract to accept as his price some kids. The Oberon thought the kids were actual children.
Free,
Yeah.
And like Oberon would give us safe passage.
Exactly.
In exchange for some kids. And he kept specifying
Kids.
And Oberon kept saying children. And then Billy at the last word is his character saying like, you will accept kids. And Oberon's like, yeah, fine. And then they shook on it or the deal was signed.
Yep.
And Billy the entire time had been collecting and paying off villagers
Exactly.
for fucking sheep.
Yeah.
Or goats.
Yeah, baby goats.
Yeah,
Baby goats are
goats.
called
Baby
kids.
Goats.
And then he offered Oberon a bunch of baby goats. And Oberon knew he had been completely screwed.
And every other Fae in the court laughed at Oberon. And Oberon was fucking pissed, but he had to honor the deal. Yeah.
Safe passage.
Yep.
I'll fucking find you. And like I think you sent like,
No,
harrowing messages
No, he says like
later on.
No, he basically told him like
Never come back to Ireland.
Never go to Ireland. Like basically warned like if you go to Ireland, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I'm pretty sure Billy's character never planned to go in the first place, so he's fine.
Yep. If we ever did an extended game, I would love to go to Ireland.
Definitely Billy goes to Ireland.
Yeah.
Billy goes to Ireland.
Exactly.
What about you, Dan? What is your strength that you try to that you lean on if you feel like you really need to impress?
So first of all, before I get there, let me just catch us up on our chat real quick.
Oh,
yeah. First of all, Steve Dortu, yes, I too miss DexCon. Conventions used to be a thing. The entire DexCon series, DexCon, Metatopia, Dreamation. Those were our cons. Those are our local cons.
For viewers, that took place in Morristown, New Jersey.
Yep.
Which has a I wish we could pull up and just post the picture that I took many years ago of a guy pointing at his dope-ass dog.
Yeah, dope-ass dog.
And that became one of the first, I think, running gags.
Yep.
Or no, not the first running gag. We had a lot of running gags, but like
that was like our con running gag. Like
Exactly.
we would arrive in New Jersey and we'd be like, before we even get to the hotel, we gotta
we gotta say hello to dog and man.
Yep.
Dope ass dog. They also mentioned that you may not know this about Jesus, but before he met David, he used to have a better memory of events.
Exactly.
This was said before, and therefore it takes further effect.
It's fair enough.
Explorers Wanted. Cheers on the goats. Skies Arc 42. That was in fact a hell of a move on Billy's part. And Steve 2 mentions that my trick is that I lean on my in it Dan-ness. He's not wrong. They're not wrong. So here's a trick on how to get like just the right game to run like at a con. You sit down and you write a game called Three Goblins in a Trench Coat, which is I'm gonna toot my own horn here. The greatest fucking con game ever created.
I cannot disagree.
It is an absolute work of art. I'm sorry, fellow game creators. That's it. Like
we're
like,
done. We've reached the pinnacle game.
There are new things that can be created, but we have scaled the heights. Like this is it. This is like
the heights
from
of
now
con
on.
game.
Everything else is like, all right. Like we need to fill out the rest of the mountain, but the peak has in fact been achieved.
Now, is this a peak of all game or just con gaming?
Just the peak. The peak. Like
okay.
we as humanity.
Okay, fair.
I believe. Like,
I desperately want there to be. I want Three Goblins in a Trench Coat to be like the fate or core of games, and have people run their hack of Three Goblins at a con.
The Goblin system.
The Goblinverse.
The Goblinverse.
Gobbleverse.
Gobbleverse.
I mean,
Gobbleverse.
No, I mean that's like SRDs. I forget what SRDs stand
No
for. OSR. OSR is old school revival.
Okay.
Yeah, no, SRDs are like system.
So right.
Like
Yeah.
Anyway, like Three Goblins in a Trench Coat SRD. Like, watch out for it later this year. I look, watch my Twitter. I have news. There'll be stuff. But point is, like, that's my trick, Dave. I'm always Three Goblins in a Trench Coat. That's like there's just something about like running the game that you wrote.
Yes,
That's, like it's like this is literally my jam. I wrote it.
What do you guys think your greatest weaknesses are, though? Because like let's be honest. Like if long-term listeners don't know what our weaknesses are by now, then they probably have not been even using a little bit of scrutiny when they listen to our episodes. I mean, I know that I often bite off more than I can chew mathematically. Like I set up these. For fuck's sake, Dogberry.
Jesus.
I set up.
Oh boy.
I set up like conflicts with NPCs. I think that combat is going to be much shorter than it is, and it never is, and I find it unfulfilling as a game, as a session. But I think it's going to be this climactic, cool thing, but it's not. All the adventurous music in the world for the edit will not hide the fact that it's a bunch of my friends sitting around, because there's a lot less laughter when there's like prolonged combat. Excuse me. But I think that combat in an adventure game is necessary. Conflict, yes, but combat, yes as well, especially for games like Shadowrun. But that's definitely that's one of my weaknesses, and also I have a tendency to not keep notes on my Google Drive, as I found out tonight. So I'll listen to these games and be like, oh wow, I really had my shit together. Let me just open up my Google Drives. Oh, it was all on a notepad. It's gone. It's all gone. So yeah, that's my greatest weakness, is like not consolidated.
Sorry, your cat is literally eating out his asshole right now.
Making a
so
4-course meal on our stream.
Once again, we have peaked, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
No. Keep him. No. He's comfortable. Let him have
people watch.
Let them watch.
It's cut
nature
off just
happen.
It's cut off. God damn
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry, buddy. What were we talking about? Did we interrupt something? Sorry.
So moving away from cat assholes.
Oh my god.
My weakness, I think, and I'm trying to improve it now more nowadays, is description and detail. I go more. I so go into like the main overall story. I'm like, trying to decide like whatever your actions my players are doing. I try to figure out at the back of my mind, okay, so what does this mean for the main story and like the actions of the other NPCs. I don't go into detail like the environment or like how people look and things like that, which helps build up the world that these people are existing in. Like there have been instances, especially in my early years, where I'll be like, you go into a room.
I remember very specifically one of the first times I played Warhammer 40k with you. I was playing Qantas, and I asked you so many questions when I got attacked by a Tyranid, and I was like, fuck all, and I just kept asking, and you were like,
No, because here's the thing, like even like when I talk to regular people, people who out of the community and like people who are normal, but like
why would you do that?
I imagine stuff in my head super fast, but I find it hard to sometimes describe things when I use words. It's a difficulty of mine I've always had, and basically like so I have this just imagine the world while I'm running the game is huge in my head of like everything that's happening, and when words come out, it's like there's a Tyranid. It attacks you.
Yeah. Exactly.
But one in my head is like,
You've gotten so much better at it.
Yeah, I have gotten better, I will admit.
I dug up a 11 or a 10-year-old memory.
Fair.
Up with that. Like, you have gotten much better at it. I think that the boot camp of description for you has been Numenera.
Yes.
Because Numenera is up there with other games like Rifts, where it's just like the setting could literally be anything, and it's like a mashup of different settings and genres. So you definitely got a lot better at it.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot better at it. You still suck.
No,
but
thank you. But like a second tier suckitude, and that's not like first tier.
Oh,
like,
100%.
So I'm going down the levels of suckitude to like no.
Sure. Even that description confused the fuck out of me. Like, I don't understand what the levels are. How many levels? Why is it going down instead of up? Often better is up. But that's why you're a goddamn visionary, Jesus. What about you, Dan?
I don't believe I have any weaknesses. Back to you, Dave.
This is well, it's your stream, so I have no choice, no choice but to acquiesce to this.
I mean that's fair. We have to just. You'd have to have more games on your belt.
No, frankly, like we simply don't have a large enough sample size to really tell.
Yeah. But in all honesty, what do you feel are things that, like, when you run a game, you look back and you're like, fuck, that is something I constantly do.
Again, I would need to run more games I think, to like figure out, because
maybe that's your weakness.
Yeah, I think so. I think that might be it, because honestly, I come out of most games going like, yeah, fuck yeah, that was dope, and my players love me. Yeah, I mean, overconfidence, if anything, is I think my my problem there. I mean, I have a little bit of that whole, like, in my head the world exists, and what do you mean you guys don't know what the entire fucking world vision that is in my head. And I do tend to go a little deep divey sometimes in details, because I get excited about like this one particular detail of the world that I came up with, and I want you all to listen to me describe it.
Fair.
Yep.
So yeah, that basically the complete opposite of Jesus.
Well, I mean, they're not things that are insurmountable. The things that we've named, which is interesting, because it's always kind of funny. I was watching Deadliest Catch, actually, the TV show on Discovery. Deadliest Catch with my partner, and we love the show. But there was this moment where one of the captains had this like really honest like moment with the camera and with the producer, and said, when I get back to shore, I just had a little girl, and nothing I've done or learned how to do on this ship translates to the outside world. Mm-hmm. He's like, none of it. None of this helps with changing a diaper, or like, calling the doctor, or like, like helping my wife with stuff around the house. Like, none of that helps. It doesn't matter. I'm a master fisherman. Yeah. When I get off this boat, I have no skills. Mm-hmm. And I listened to that and I was like, that kind of reminds me about how I feel about gaming. Like, we have a very specific set of skills that works very well within this sphere. And you could argue that they translate to other aspects of life, but not very often, Not very often. And I've read books, entire books. Yes, I read books. Book. I read book. The Bible. I want to talk about the direction of this. No, I've read books on like the psychology of gaming and how gaming can be utilized to better life and to be utilized in people's lives and productivity and their profession, things like that. And the one thing that keeps coming up is like, oh yeah, well, leadership, team building, things like that. Like, what's D&D? It's you meet a group of strangers and you have to work together. That's jobs, right? That's a lot of office jobs. Yep. And that's true, but I've always felt like, yeah, but it doesn't honestly come up like that often. Like, does my experience as 8 years as a kick-ass paladin ever come up when somebody asks, does anyone want to be team leader for this?
I mean, you could say, well, it depends. Like, for example, if you're playing I know stories of people who've played, like, run guilds for MMOs, who like use that as in their resumes to show leadership potential.
Okay, but that shit is crazy.
Oh no, that's fucking nuts. Like, the idea of leading a guild, Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you what, though, running a LARP shit is wild. Yeah. I definitely think I should put that on my.
Honestly, like, from what stories you've told me, yeah.
Yeah, like, except for like, I would never put that on my resume because normals are hiring me, for lack of a better.
Looks like you're applying for the wrong jobs.
What, I mean, another LARP?
You gotta like know how to write. You don't fucking write LARP. You don't put the word LARP in a resume.
No.
Unless you're applying for like a LARP job.
No. But like, you gotta word it right to like they will eventually find out you mean LARP. But if you write it right, like,
been hired and they've given you responsibility.
Especially because when you consider the type of personnel you deal with in a LARP, yes, sometimes you deal with regular, normal, not psychotic people, but
oh god,
on
that's
occasion,
the dream.
But you deal with a lot. I've only been to like 1 or 2 LARPs, and never people I know, so I don't have any reference in this. But from what I've heard, you do some nuts jobs in LARP sometimes, and you've learned how to deal with them, which means you can deal with regular crazy people.
Oh yeah, the ability to manage people who straight up walk into a circumstance determined not to get along.
Exactly.
Really, that's takes storytelling in a LARP.
No, that's not storytelling. That's management skills.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
Dude,
having been a manager, yeah.
Yeah. Listeners,
the camera's just straight up focused on DB at this point. We are blurry. This is the Dogberry show. Like,
take a photo of the screen.
Camera's giving
God,
up.
take a photo.
Yeah, take a photo if you can. This is wonderful.
My phone. I don't know my phone.
There we go.
Wait.
Hey,
just
everybody.
Wait.
Yeah.
Let me just put it right up. There we go. There we go.
There it is.
There we go. There's his hat. There's his hat.
All right.
Okay.
Hey,
that's
that
perfect.
brought it back.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, there we go. That brought it back. But so first of all, real quick, our listeners.
No, never mind. It's back to Dogberry.
Our listeners continue to mention Steven or two. Hey, Dogberry, work that camera. He did mention that Indy Jones wouldn't be as interesting if he never punched a Nazi.
Yeah.
That's a reference to games need combat.
Yep.
Part-time Geek mentions normies are in fact no fun whatsoever. Although Sleepy does add that hosting a game and GMing does have a lot of things and translate. Player definitely helps with confidence. It's true.
Yep.
SkySark42 is just complimenting our camera work.
Yeah, fair.
And
fair.
frankly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
This is what I paid all that money for this equipment for. Honestly, like
I would move him, but I'm kind of proud.
No. This is
No,
you
like
better now. This is
like, yeah,
this is quality content
We're
just
gonna show up on
letting
the
this
dodo
run.
later.
We're just letting this run. We just want to see how long this goes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. Well,
But yes, my greatest weakness also mentioned is not dwelling on unnecessary self-reflection.
oh, I like that.
Fair.
So yeah, listeners, let us know if, or excuse me, viewers. God, it's weird to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Viewers, let us
They're
know in
looking
the
at your
comments.
face right now.
I know. I'm so
Right
sorry. I'm really sorry.
Yeah,
about this.
we apologize for everything that's happening here, except like this area here. Oh,
Yep.
There we go.
So I'm
that's all
going
good.
to.
That's all good.
So we're gonna have to break off for a 5-minute.
Yes, we are.
Break
We can
because
do a quick
I need
intermission.
I need to feed the cat that is directly in front of me. And I think
turns
that's
out.
why this is happening.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is
pretty
because
much.
he's like, you could feed me earlier. I fucking know you can. You just choose not to.
Yep.
So we're gonna take like just a 2-minute, like a
2-minute
2-minute,
break, yeah.
super quick 100. Give us 120 seconds. But in the interim, please let us know what kind of skills that you think that gaming has developed in you
Yes.
that has been useful in the outside world, or please go ahead and tell us what kind of games you would like us to run for tonight's Fandible Rebel Radio. And we will be back in 120 seconds.
Dope. Woo.
Oh, love it. Let's move.
Yep.
And we are back.
Hey, everybody.
Hey-o.
Welcome back to Fandible Office Hours. I am Professor Donnelly. That's Professor Rodriguez and Professor Rodriguez. And we are here to answer any of your questions concerning class. And no, there will not be an extension on the final.
You should have been listening the entire time.
Should have taken notes.
Yep. True.
Says the high school dropout. Anyways, so listeners, viewers. That's going to be it.
They mostly. They do.
I mean, they technically just also listen. Like they might be doing something else while watching this.
I mean, honestly, I think the best idea is to not see my face and instead see my voice, hear my voice.
How many of that have you had?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? We're gonna play Rebel Radio after this. So
Yep. Oh wait, have they suggested games we can do for?
They
Rebel?
have not,
Okay.
but they have continued
Listeners.
discussing workplace skills that gaming has given us.
Oh,
such
what-
as
such
that
as?
we're withal
Buffer
to
combat
look.
being the number one, which is very concerning.
Exactly, combat is very applicable. The workplace skills. Let's see, that we're withal to look busy when there is no work going on.
Ooh,
That's
I
a
like that
that's a
one.
good
Yeah.
that's a good skill
good.
to
The
have.
ability to compartmentalize who I tell various information to.
Smart.
Gaming would in fact only confuse most of one's co-workers, and Sleepy adds some common skills that you can put into your resume. So organization, active listening, clear communication, managing difficult people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh gee, thanks. Creative writing and better note taking. There's a lot of stuff that
The last one I'm not sure about.
Okay, yeah, for some people, like these are
Yeah.
general terms, not specific for you.
I mean,
I would say breaking down and having a critical eye to new ideas and paradigms,
Yeah.
which is basically learning a new game.
okay.
Yeah. Like, have you ever fucking read Mage? I mean, really?
I
read
tried
Mage?
to once. I tried to. You guys know I love running different games and reading them. I tried Mage once, and I look at him like this is not a thing
Yeah,
I'm
but
going to be running.
think about Numenera.
Yes.
Numenera's batshit crazy. Yeah. Shadowrun's batshit crazy. Changeling is batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Billyverse is, well, I don't want to insult the creator, so it's batshit crazy with long hair. Hey there, Belly. Hope you're watching.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and but then again, Angela's known for running End of the World, which is batshit crazy. Yeah. But like,
Batshit crazy because she still runs the game with us as the player.
I don't know how she does it
Not
because
a
like
clue.
we basically made avatars of all of the
Well,
awful stuff.
No, we made avatars of our ids.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like these are the worst aspect. Like let's be honest, each character here is the worst aspect of ourselves.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm just saying.
It's a fucking New Englander who doesn't shut his mouth, runs it all the time. Is kind of a shit. Maybe. But yeah, I think that understanding and taking a critical eye to new ideas
Yes.
is definitely basically learning new role playing games.
Yes.
Sleepy mentioned that batshit crazy is why we are here. So, well, there you go.
Yep.
You're welcome.
So who's batshit crazier? Like those running it or those watching and listening to us?
Here's a good question. Whose game is the most batshit crazy?
Oh. I mean, that's hard to define. Let the listeners
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which game do you think is the most batshit crazy?
Out of the ones,
Out of the numerous ones we've run.
Yep.
Which is the most batshit crazy?
And it's not just about setting. It's about what happens, the potential of what can happen.
Exactly.
The characters.
Exactly.
Cannot choose Atomic Robo.
Not Atomic Robo, because that's designed to be batshit crazy.
Yeah, that's the entire idea is that it's batshit crazy.
Exactly.
I mean, the quick answer from Sleepy is Jesus. And
Okay.
all of them.
Well, okay.
you
What
run
games of mine are I mean, Unholy Metropolis isn't that batshit crazy.
Gargoyles.
Listen, I'll say this.
I wasn't there for that. I wasn't.
It was,
that was in the dark times before David.
I'll say this. That took a dark turn. But I stand by that story. It was a really good story.
I mean, I'm sure it was.
Yep.
You fucking lunatic. I've heard about that enough. It's kind of like hearing about like a horror movie that you'll know. It's like hearing about Saw.
here's the thing. Like, here's the thing.
I
Like,
don't think I need to watch it.
I don't know. Maybe it's because of me, but like when I saw Gargoyles as a kid and like growing up, when I thought about the story using World of Darkness, I thought to myself, yeah, but could I make this darker? Mm-hmm. And I did.
What just happened?
What, and why the screen's
everything's
black?
good. It's fine. I'm adjusting so we can hopefully see the chat a little bit.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, but yeah, like I know it didn't fit with like the Disney version of Gargoyles, that particular story, but I personally liked it. I liked the turn it took, and perhaps it was a little dark. I mean, perhaps a smidgen. Like listeners can tell me, was it a smidgen too dark?
Just told you. Yeah, Part-Time Geek mentions Gargoyles was effing dark. Although Skysark 42 does say that they loved the Gargoyle episode.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Steve also mentions that now it is not a competition, but also Jesus.
Well, yeah, I mean, fuck all. You're the buckshot of game.
Yeah,
running.
but also like, let's be honest, I like the weirder stories. I like weird stuff.
Do.
Not only like body horror stuff, but like just like I love fucking Planescape. Mm-hmm. I fucking love anything weird. I fucking loved Lex when it came out, that TV show. Like anything super
Lex.
weird, super
Lex
sci-fi or fantasy. Like I am down for that shit because I love thinking about this sort of shit. Like Planescape, I love because
I don't think we can pick it up here though.
You can't pick it up. Okay, but
it doesn't.
I freaking love stories about like how philosophy and alternate weird ass physics like alter everything in the world.
Ass physics.
Ass physics.
Not
Which is
weird
why
ass
we're going
physics.
to play
weird
the Tingleverse one
ass
day.
physics. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I love those type of stories. So and that sort of translates into my games, admittedly. Mm-hmm. Like you guys were kind of weirded out when like your innocent game or you guys were on a train as animals turned into a fucking like interdimensional travel game.
Yeah, but also like I'm guilty of making games worse. You know, like of making games like weirder.
How? How? Explain to the listeners how. So seriously, how? I don't remember. I'm doing it.
Angela's out of the box toy.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yes,
I heard that. I think to this day I still have not played Out of the Box.
Wait, weren't you in?
It's actually one of the best games that we as a podcast have created.
I've never. It's one of the best. It's one of the best things we like. You've all done.
Yeah,
like, I was no part of that.
Which
I'm thrilled about because I'm always. I don't like listening to our stuff when I'm on it because it's just painful to just hear me outshine everyone like that. But like I really enjoy listening to like episodes where I'm not in it because it's like I get to hang out with my friends on a day when I didn't get to hang out with my friends.
Yeah,
like
fair.
that's why I enjoy it. It's like I'm listening to you guys and like it's almost like I missed that game, but all right, cool. I get the jokes now. Yeah, like, So it's good stuff.
Yeah, that was not my finest moment. The same way with like Much of the Strange, where it's called The Strange, and I still managed to make it weird.
In our defense, in your defense, like we were drinking heavily during some of the earlier games.
Oh yeah,
like the grenade fiasco. Like from what I remember, even I was going like I was pretty drunk too, but from what I remember, I was like, why did you throw grenades at those guys?
The thing is, once I reach a certain level of intoxication during a Rebel radio, all of my actions are, they are finite. Okay. They are determined. I say I do a thing, and I'm never going to second guess it.
Yeah,
like, I don't care. Okay. It's like I just move forward. You know, it happened, fair. Let's just all grow from it.
Fair.
We got a few more comments. So we do have, let's see. Slave, you mentions Numenera is one of the weirder ones if they have to choose.
Okay.
Skysark 42 mentions the God Machine games.
Oh yeah, those are good. Those are weird.
Those got nice and weird.
Nice.
Loved those games.
Yeah. I mean, I can't take 100% responsibility for how weird those got because I was following like some of the basic adventures that were suggested in the book. That they have a whole like campaign, and so I was taking a lot from that. I didn't like take it. Everything wasn't like rules as written, but a lot of the weirdness came from that. So I wish I could take full credit for that, but I cannot. So while those were weird, I can't like in good conscience say like that was definitely on me.
Okay, fair.
Let's see. Part-Time Geek says not saying Gargoyles is bad, quite the contrary. But yeah, it's hard.
That's fair. I
Love the honesty.
Yeah.
Also, he mentions that if they think if you can do Planescape well, you can do Mage well. One comment previously that I skipped was that for Mage, you kind of like everyone at the table has to be a little bit nuts.
Yeah.
The Witch is Dead was another great and weird one.
Oh, why?
That was such a good game.
So
Sky
fun.
42
So
brought
fun.
that one up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm still remembering how Dan rolled poorly and his character in the game. Basically, you play characters that can effectively die and then live entire lives as an alternate person because you are the summoned creature, right? So you're the Pokemon, and you can live your entire life until you're summoned.
Wait. That's not The Witch is Dead. That was
that is.
That was the Angel game. No. What are we thinking?
No, that was the Witch is Dead.
That was The Witch is Dead?
He was a toad.
Right. Oh, yes.
Oh, as a gargoyle at one point. So, anyways, the idea is that you get summoned, but you get turned into something else, but you still have this entire life that you lived inside of this alternate dimension, and depending on what you roll when you quote-unquote die, and then you go to the alternate dimension to live an entire life, Dan rolled full life. Had a full life, and then was wrenched
That was
back.
not Witch is Dead. Witch is Dead where you were Crow and like that was where you were demons.
Yeah.
Or Angel. No.
And
No, that's
I'm
other
not
game.
crazy.
No,
I'm not
that
crazy.
was not The Witch is Dead.
Play too many things.
No, that was not The Witch is Dead.
Do we?
Yes.
We played a lot of games, but that was not The Witch is Dead. The Witch is Dead where you were a crow, you were Toad, and you were trying to get the eyes of your witch.
Oh yeah.
Of the witch.
Yeah.
Now the other game you're thinking of is another one shot we did where you guys was it Angels you guys were playing, I think? Where no summon creatures where you were demons that were summoned every once in a while.
Oh, it's almost as if we played a lot of games.
Yes.
Okay, I fucking don't remember The Witch is Dead then.
No, yeah, you were a crow,
but
and
it was great.
That was the one where I think Billy was there and he turned into a.
Billy was there for that.
Yeah, he was Billy for that one, and he was there, and
He was Billy for that one.
He was Billy for that one, and there was an instance where he turned, he cast a spell. He had a spell which allows him to like summon like dinner, and during the last part of the game, he summoned an entire turkey inside the mouth of Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
This.
What the fuck is even happening?
I remember this happening. Though.
Yes,
I'm part of this podcast, and
He summoned a turkey inside of the mouth of William of Dafoe.
Yeah.
And basically ripped his mouth open, and the turkey ripped out his.
That happened. We did that.
We did that.
Yeah.
That happened. Were you there for that game?
Yeah,
he was there for that game. You were there for that game.
Apparently not spiritually or mentally, because
it was fucking hilarious. I gotta say
that is entirely news to me. My absolute god. What else do we have on the board, Dan?
Let's see. Well, we have praise for me. Part-time Geek mentions, quote, "Hear me outshine everyone. Almost choked on my pizza. Friggin' great. Always a good time if I nearly kill a listener."
Yes, nice.
Yeah, he has a piece of chalk next to his bed, and he just draws it down the wall.
One down. Let's see. Sleepy mentions they also like surrealism in games and think Jesus does a good job with some of those nebulous concepts.
Thank you.
Part-time Geek mentions that God Machine was in fact fantastic, and since I ran God Machine, I do bear some accolades responsibility. Never said I didn't. I mean, clearly my running the game made it better in many and immeasurable
significant
ways.
Significant ways.
But
yes.
Like I said, it didn't all come from me. I was running effectively a prepared campaign.
Yes.
So therefore, I can't just completely bask in that glory. I can only basically I can take credit for my golden light, really bringing out the highlights of this story. But the story itself existed before I graced it with my.
You just gave it life and light.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So with that in mind, we can now fork off into two different kinds of conversations.
Okay,
listeners. I can ask a question concerning the biggest issue about running complicated games. And we've all run complicated games.
Yes.
Or we can have a conversation about an upcoming Shadowrun game that I already had a conversation with Dan about in one of the earliest office hours about Jesus' character that I have plans for.
Okay.
So let us know in the comments what you want, and I'll just float some other questions to the gentleman while we wait.
It should be about Shadowrun because I'm interested in what my character is doing.
Now we can do it off camera. Who cares?
Everyone cares about Granick.
So
I will bring up because we've been having a great time. We've also been having a great time for an hour now.
Oh, what, has it been an hour? Jesus Christ.
Yes, we have. Our stream has been live for an hour.
Oh, Jesus.
How much longer are we going to continue? Because I'm look, man, I can go
fine.
all night.
Okay, I'm good.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, our stream continues. The stream will not be 1 hour long. I think we missed doing stream last week, so here we go.
Okay, we'll see how long this goes. Okay.
yeah. So my question to you, while the the viewers answer what they would like Shadowrun or just more questions, is so we have been playing games for a while. What issues do you find you run into consistently with complicated games or any sort of mechanics of games? Because I feel that like mechanics change so much. Looking at you, Rotted Capes, that are that's not shit at Rotted Capes, but man, the mechanics are so different than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Bravo to you, developers.
Here's the thing about Rotted Capes, like, because I run the game. Like,
You run a game.
yes.
Go on.
The game makes sense when you have the time to clearly think through the mechanics and how it runs, and like it clicks. Like it clicked best. Let me rephrase. It clicked best when I was there with the creators, and like Billy explained, like he ran the game with the creators and it worked and everything was great. But I think the main problem with that game was the book. Right off the bat. Like, I love the system. I loved it. It worked for like a horror superhero game. Mm-hmm. Like, it worked really well. If only the book explained it clearer.
Okay.
100%. But like, that system kind of worked.
Okay.
Like, really worked. If they... Guys, I love you. I love Rotted Capes. Next time, if you do it version 2, get a real editor. Get a fucking real editor. I mean, this may be harsh on me. Get a fucking real editor. Go through that fucking book. There was a portion where I did the math and the math didn't add. If the math doesn't fucking add up in a book, there's something wrong. I despise that shit in a book.
I know you do. Yeah,
yes, the math should fucking add up.
Many of us would just shrug and be like, oh, "Okay, well, I think I understand." But like, you like slowly closed the book when you read that, and you're like, and I think part of that frustration comes from the fact that the game itself. Every game tries to develop a new mechanic when it's not an offshot of another mechanic, right? Another property. And I think that Rotted Capes did the absolute greatest job at that.
Yes.
Like, I've never seen a more original kind of mechanic than Rotted Capes when it comes to dice rolling. Absolutely. However, as you said, there are some issues with the structure of the book. And our own Billy actually wrote a guide on playing the game and using the book. I don't know where it is right now. I think it's on their forum. I think it's on the Rotted Capes.
I think it's
forum.
on the Rotted Capes forum. Yep. Yes. If you have a need to find it, ask Billy on our Discord. He can definitely get it for you.
Yep.
But yeah, I can understand the frustration there. When it comes to that, Dan, any sort of mechanics that you constantly run into?
God, good. I'm glad you repeated the question because I had no idea.
I mean, we've been drinking. You've been,
during intermission.
Yeah, I've had like a third of a hat maker's mark, so I'm good. So keep going, keep talking.
I mean, mechanics wise, like. So here's like, remember when we played, when we went back to Changeling, like last year during our last Fanda Summit, which again we are looking forward to having one at some point soon because
this room,
because Billy and Angela, we miss your faces.
Yes,
guys, come on down, Fiasco. I've got a thing set up for karaoke.
Yes.
Yep. My partner has said that she's going to be out of the house when that happens because she hates karaoke, and I think it was like a don't do karaoke, and I was just like, cool.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Does she hate karaoke or
No, it makes her like skin crawl.
really?
Oh, she can't deal with it.
Okay,
A lot of people can't deal with, like, for instance, like if I see stand up, the couple of times I've seen stand up, I like almost have to go puke in the bathroom because of my sympathy stage, right?
Oh wow.
So like
okay.
people get that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, Billy and Angela, I am willingly getting in some serious trouble in sleeping on this couch in order for us to like play karaoke, do karaoke.
So hopefully soon. But that said, yeah, it's not just complicated rule sets, but long running rule sets where I kept mixing up rules from Chainlink First Edition to Chainlink 20th Anniversary Edition, and New World of Darkness rules and Old World of Darkness rules. And like these are the systems I know best, and I've been dealing with them for so long, and they're just now a huge jumble in my head because there's just too much. There's too many rules, and too many rules that are too similar. Right? When they made the second edition, it wasn't like the same system but slightly updated. It was a completely different system that still used almost all the same terms and a lot of this and the same sort of dice. But it was a very different system, and you resolve actions very differently, and it just gets friggin' mangled up in my head. And now I'm like legit nervous whenever I run a World of Darkness game because I'm like, shit, do I have to what rules am I thinking about here? So yeah,
Fair.
That's fair. Do we have any questions? Or
we have some comments. Let's see.
Comments them up.
Bring it
Complicated games. Yeah, there's always the problem of rules interpretations amongst players, which Part Time Geek brings up. Meanwhile, Steve Door 2 says about mechanics. The longer you run a game, the more often you will run into the instances where the rules do not have great coverage. Common, true. Sometimes characters are good at things that they really shouldn't be because of stats or just the opposite, which we've run into games like, but if I'm good at this thing, why am I not also good at this thing? Or vice versa. So like, okay, so because I'm smart, I'm also a good cook, that sort of thing.
The correlation is usually off or non-existent.
Exactly. But that's very common to systems that are like stat plus skill. Where they let you, especially if there's systems that let you roll with little or no penalty when you don't have the skill. So it's like if you're smart, you're good at cooking. Or somebody could have like cooking 3, but if they're smarts 1, they'll never be as good a cook as you would until with smarts 5 and 0 cooking. Anyway, and finally, Steve Door 2 says the GM's options can be to ask for modified rules, give a penalty or bonus as appropriate, but having to do that constantly because the player or character keeps trying to do the thing in question creates its own problems. Oh yeah, that's I'm guessing related to that. Like why am I not good at this thing that I should be based on my stats? Like, okay, yeah, so let's make a special case for this, and like the more of those you have to like start sort of home rule, the more complicated it keeps getting. So yeah.
All right. So real quick, I'm going to need another 2-minute break because I have to use the bathroom.
Turns out, fair enough.
And when we get back, I'm going to make an executive decision here on Office Hours, extended hours. By the way, our office is usually closed, and we would be home at the bar. We'd probably be at the bar as 3 distinguished professors. Just decompressing from a difficult day of grading papers or having our assistants do it. So we're going to take 2 minutes, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to have a conversation with Jesus about my upcoming experimental Shadowrun game.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Sounds good. We'll be right back, folks.
Okay.
And, there we go.
Are we muted?
Yes.
Dope. I really have to be.
Okay, do what you gotta do.
I believe we're muted. And real life.
Hey,
what's
here's to office hours, Clinky.
I'm just gonna clank.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. I can't believe administration lets us get away with this.
Yep.
They don't even check. It's
Nope.
amazing.
Seriously.
Occasionally, the guy who comes in to clean the place will be like, "What's up?" and we'll be like, "It's still office hours technically, so man, you can go." Dope.
We're good.
You know.
We're good. All right. So, any more questions from the audience?
Let's see.
Or statements or concerns?
Dave, it turns out we were not quite muted as we were going out to break.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. It's
Okay.
It's all
What do you
fine.
mean it's all
It's
good?
absolutely fine.
How
It's
much
fine.
did they hear?
Nothing. They heard. They absolutely. Look, hey, so Steven Ortu and Part Time Geek discussed our professorial standards, I guess.
Okay. We have standards?
We are Fandible as professors, perchance.
Okay.
And so Part Time Geek wonders what they may do for extra credit, and offers like the Kitchen Volcano will not cut it, but they do offer bartending services.
I will ask this,
Ooh.
viewers: what are we professors of?
Oh.
Please.
Oh
Yes,
gosh,
yes,
I'm
if-
gonna regret that.
Oh yeah.
one.
So
we're gonna
if you
regret
had
that.
to choose what we each were professors of,
Yeah.
Yep.
knowing what we are as knowing as we are as GMs, what do you think we
Or
are?
just people, or just personalities of Fandible.
Are we people really?
Are we? Even...
I mean, no, we're all actually Billy, who's just doing the voices for everybody.
I mean, he has a talent for it. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly. Yep.
he's had some time to like learn Blender.
Yeah,
and
we
whatnot.
haven't stood up, so like we're technically just
We're three
puppets.
Billies in a trench coat right now.
Write it, Dan.
3 Billies in a trench
He's literally just drawn our faces into 3 of his fingers
Yeah.
behind the
Yeah.
table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very elaborate diorama.
Exactly.
Let's see. They do mention. Let's see. Part-Time Geek offers to bartend, but is currently specializing in PGA cocktails, so does not know how well that would go over.
PGA?
PGA.
What's
a
PGA?
I don't know, but he does mention that by cocktails he means a splash of PGA in fruit juice and soda. Part-Time Geek, we need to know what.
What's a PGA?
What's a PGA? What's a PGA? In the meantime, catching up.
I think it's Parent Guru Association.
Okay.
It's when your werewolves are going to school and
Where are we milking werewolves for the drinks?
Yeah, because this is a liquor that we're talking about.
We're
here.
milking werewolves.
No. I think they make cocktails
Out of
for the
werewolves.
PGA meeting.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Because like, how else are you going to keep Ahroons, calm if you don't feed them a little bit of liquor? From
Okay,
time to
fair.
time?
True.
Wow, that was a real deep dive into some fucking werewolf knowledge that
some real dark
no one
places.
got. No one
Nope,
got.
I had no idea what the
real-
fuck you were talking about, but
I
I just
wanna
nodded. I just nodded my head.
So just real clear, I considered running a werewolf game tonight for Rebel Radio.
Really?
Yes, because I fucking love the original Werewolf, except for the very problematic everything else. But no, I love Werewolf. I did
I've
a
never,
Werewolf
as someone
LARP.
who's never run or like played in Werewolf, I was very interested in like I would never run it. Well, actually, no, I do. Okay, listeners, I do want to run a Changing Breeds game at some point. I have an idea where it takes place in a post-apocalyptic Earth where the werewolves won and everything got fucked up. That's my idea.
Listeners, actually, he's described it to us, and it's actually a really fucking tight idea. It's a fucking fire idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely sweet. Absolutely want him to run it. But to give you an idea, Werewolf is the cheat code of World of Darkness.
Yeah.
No, for real. Like, it's insane. Anyways, move on to the next question.
Gotcha.
Anyways, Steve O'Toole mentions that they would bartend, but they would bartend like Bill Murray bartends, which is that no matter what they ask for, you serve them tequila.
Yeah, nice.
Love that.
And no one would ever believe you.
Yeah.
Wait, are you Bill Murray? That would be a very Bill Murray move.
No, Bill Murray. Bill Murray knows what he's about.
I really want to have a office hours where Bill Murray shows up, sits down, answers a couple questions, and then looks around and says, no one will believe it. And then walks off.
Yep.
Because fuck all, I love Bill Murray.
Yes.
Yep. And the video of that would mysteriously just be corrupted.
Yep.
Like
It would
we'd have
glitch
audio
out like a
we'd
found
have-
footage.
Exactly.
Part-time Geek mentions that they usually won't do tequila, but certain ones they would make an exception, despite scientific data that suggests otherwise. Tequila makes him mean, and he does not like being mean.
I don't know if you knew this, but before he met me, part-time geek
Did not drink much tequila.
Yeah.
To which Steve two mentions, that's great. Here's some tequila.
No,
So
please don't drink things that make you mean. There are so many other great drinks out there.
Yep.
It's fine.
Yep.
Professors of Bullshittery is all of us is one vote that we're getting.
Yeah.
Let's see, three Billies in a trench coat, lovely. PGA Pure Grain Alcohol, there we go. 198 proof.
Oh,
Pardon, 190
Jesus.
proof. 190.
Jesus
So,
Christ, man.
what's it
So you
called?
wanted to kill
Spirit.
us, is what you're trying to tell us
It's
right
called
now.
Spiritus, where I'm from.
Okay.
Where we are right now. That's
Yeah.
stuff will make you fucking blind. I did half a shot of that when I was 24.
Why would you do that to
It was
yourself?
my 24th birthday.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Checks out.
I turned out fine. I was 6 feet tall.
You were.
Okay.
I've seen the pictures. You were a much larger.
Yeah.
man.
I shrunk down like Rumpelstiltskin.
And his heart shrank 3
Yep.
sizes that day.
Ha.
So Jesus, werewolf in FRR.
Wait, what?
FRR. Okay. We are too drunk or otherwise intoxicated to deal well with acronyms.
What are
tonight.
these acronyms?
Wait, FRR?
FRR?
What's the FRR? Please explain.
Fandible Rebel Radio.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
Yes.
We are drunk.
Yeah, so
We are
wait.
FRR.
Wait, so you talking to me? Like specific?
Well, not to just to us in general. Like werewolf in Fandible Rebel Radio. Okay, they'd listen. Hey, Jesus, do it, please.
Are you talking about the Changeling game? No,
No,
not
the
Changeling.
Changing
Not
Breeze.
Changing Breeze. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah. Slapey does mention for werewolf, slightly very problematic.
Just slightly very.
Just a
Yes,
little bit.
Yeah.
and yes, we were correct. Fandible Rebel Radio, they love us.
Yeah,
we
I
are.
do. Like I said,
We're very
I do.
lovable.
I do have the idea of running a change, like in Changing Breeds. The game I'm thinking, like it's post-apocalyptic. The werewolves won. Like they defeated the worm. The problem is the werewolves won, and you know how werewolves are like. And basically, humanity is on the verge of extinction.
So wait, so it's basically like the technocracy book, which is like we won, and it's the worst outcome we could
Exactly.
imagine.
Exactly. So like the werewolves won, but basically like they went fucking feral.
Yeah.
Because here's the main gist is like they won, but how did they win? Because after they won, like the werewolves changed entirely. Mike.
Please.
Okay, fine. There we go. You happy?
We have listeners.
Yeah, okay.
We have-
So basic gist, the story they had is basically the werewolves did win, but something changed within them when they won, and they became without the worm and without the spider. Was the spider? Like
The Weaver.
The Weaver there because the Weaver became the worm, right? As I recall.
The Weaver was balanced. The worm was destruction.
Yes.
The Weaver was stasis.
Yes.
The worm was destruction.
You're right.
And the wild was change, and basically.
Okay.
And the worm was originally balanced, but
Yeah.
nope.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
So
was
basically, with the worm gone, there was
Because
just
the Weaver went mad. I
the
believe.
Weaver went mad. There's no more Weaver. There's no more worm.
Yeah.
There's just the werewolves and Gaia. So what does that mean for the world?
Oh, yeah.
that's
Basically,
very,
so this was the wild one.
The wild one and basically wiped out most of humanity.
Yeah, which it would.
So basically, the
Very
changing breeds
Magnus
is basically.
Archives. Ooh.
Say it again.
Magnus Archives.
I've not heard of that one.
Oh, that's a podcast.
Oh.
Listen to it. You will love it. Magnus Archives is.
Okay, I'll check. I'll give it a check. I'll remind me again because I'm too drunk to remember it. But the idea is like,
I don't know if you know this about Jesus. Before. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
but basically just like after that happened, the wild has won, and basically changing breeds. Your characters are like protecting the last of humanity on Earth from like the wilds, from like the werewolves and the other creatures of the wild, like that trying to wipe out humanity, who the wild considers the agents of the worm.
Not wrong.
Yes,
Yeah.
All right.
that's the idea I had anyway.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but both of the worm and of the weaver
Dead, gone.
Both, yeah, because that's the thing. As it's presented in the game, the wild is both like werewolf and effectively changeling, and the two and it's that presents its conflict with both sides, right? As the werewolves, it's the conflict between the wild and the worm. As changelings, it's the conflict between the wild and the weaver. Because stasis is the thing that you're afraid of as a changeling.
Which would imply like you guys would also have to deal with the changelings as well.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I like that more.
It's very much like Feywild, like madness, and then humans are representatives of both. Yeah, destruction, and corruption, and also like so much of humans' power from before came from the Weaver, from technology,
from order,
from order, exactly. Yeah. So they are representatives of that. So yes, humans represent everything the wild would hate.
Yeah.
So actually, in a LARP with changelings and werewolves, I played a knocker and presented myself to a moot, which is a gathering of werewolves, which is basically the last fucking place you want to be as a non-werewolf.
Yes.
Even other werewolves don't want to fucking be there because they could be killed. Fun fact, knockers, the most common tattoos that appear on their body, is the spiral, a black spiral.
Wait, isn't that the sign of the
spiral dancers, the black spiral dancers, who are basically werewolves who now work for the worm.
Yes.
Oh boy.
They are fucked up.
Boy.
But at the same time, fun fact, the storyteller determined that whenever they spend their spiritual energy that like focuses their magic, it's glamour. I had Fae 5. I literally turned somebody back into their human form.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's in the rules. Yeah.
You make
Jesus
it happen. Christ.
Yeah. If that's the call from the GM that they're like gnosis basically it counts as glamour, which the rules as written heavily imply that the power stat for all supernaturals is effectively interchangeable if you know what you're doing.
Yep.
So yeah.
Wow.
And with Fae 5, that means you basically understand the workings of glamour itself, which means you understand the workings of magic itself. Did I actually deal with a mage who was crippled in front of me? Yes. But then I had to retire the character because they determined that it was a little too powerful. But so with werewolves, they are kind of the broken character set of White Wolf. I want to run a game for them, but maybe a different setting, system.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe a Fate, maybe.
Okay, all right,
or something, because White Wolf is great, but it is it's very crunchy when it comes to werewolves. Hi, buddy.
Yeah.
So
okay. That's fair. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Any more?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Part-Time Geek thinks this is just overall a great idea. I would fucking listen to it.
Okay.
But
so it's planning, changing breeds happening. Okay, at some point.
Stevedore 2 puts up their suggestions for what we are professors of, starting with David, the professor of philosophy.
Oh.
Dice probability and how it leads you to nihilism was his thesis. Jesus, professor of creative writing.
Oh,
poor spelling and bad math doesn't make a proper setting. And Dan, professor of technological integration. Please me, and you may pass my class. No, I will not explain my curriculum.
Nice.
So yes.
Okay.
All right. So, I said that I would do a thing about my Shadowrun game.
Okay. Oh, right. Yes.
You did say that.
Okay.
So, the drink is starting to hit, so we will make this very.
Let me let it hit harder. Words.
Here's what we can do. We can do some base setup for where you're going with this.
Yes.
And then next office hours actually do this proper.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Because this is the conversation needs to be had here. If it's anything of the conversation that was had for me and everything, this would be in depth. So
okay, so let's discuss the main topics of May with go with
Sasha. So, don't clink without drinking.
Fine.
Sorry, dude. Them's the rules. I don't
That's
make
the rules.
That is the rules. Okay.
So, what Dan and I talked about is that you and Dan are. Oh dear. So that Dan and you are members of a medical team,
Okay.
specifically a parapsychology team.
Okay.
But you are actually doctors in psychology and other medicines.
Okay.
You are multiple PhD and MD holders. You are brilliant and accomplished. And what you are is effectively a non-existent team of parapsychologists who are called upon when something in the Shadowrun world, in something in the sixth world, cannot be described or confined to magic, technology, or the natural sciences. Mm-hmm. You are effectively the Warehouse 13.
Oh.
And you are invisible. No one knows that you exist. You do officially. You are funded by a major corporation, but you are loaned out for a fee to instances where the understanding of magic and medicine simply fail.
In a world where magic and high like cyber tech and all this stuff exists, we deal with the stuff that's weirder than that.
Yep. And you had a third member, the magic specialist.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good friend of yours. And you all bonded, the three of you, not only because of professional dealings, but also because you constantly risked your lives or otherwise. Minds, whatever, if you consider a soul.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happened. There was an event that changed all of you. But the way that it changed your friend, the third member, the spiritualist, made him a perfect psychopath.
Okay.
Unchanged in personality otherwise, but devoid of any sort of humanity. And because of that, became a serial killer underneath your noses. Eventually, he was caught and institutionalized because the corporation had put too much money into him to simply have him arrested and possibly executed.
Mm-hmm.
And now you are left 1/3 of your team without magic specialists. But you have to keep doing the job.
Interesting.
But at any time, when you have a question, you can always visit your old friend, who is the same guy, but could also be trying to get you to kill someone or do something horrible because they have no compunction otherwise. They're the Hannibal Lecter of magic. Brilliant, but also terrible. And I am going to leave you with this as we end the stream.
Okay.
Dogberry,
Goddamn cat.
fucking kill you.
That, for those listening in, that cat is destroying that chair.
Destroying the couch. I believe that's a perfect way to wrap this up.
Yeah,
Just
cat
bring
destruction.
up the
So
last-
I will end this on this cliffhanger. Dan
Yes.
Your character has been changed.
Yes.
Significantly. And may have contracted ghoulism.
Yes.
HMHVV, human metahuman vampiric virus. Or some version of it.
Yes.
And Jesus, after the event where your friend became a psychopath, whether it be an explosion, we should discuss this with the listeners and the viewers. You became more attached to the place that you lived, slowly waking up day after day with a more innate knowledge of the grounds, of who walked in and out for deliveries for the different apartments. You lived in a little flat apartment. And then over time, you became knowledgeable of the entire building. You could feel the steps of everyone there. You could feel the rumblings of when they spoke. If you focused, you could hear them. You could almost see them. And then soon enough, you found yourself, after a night of fitful sleep, on the roof,
Being judged
judged by a cat.
Okay, listen. All right, it's fine.
You found yourself on the rooftop, perched over the edge like a suicide. But you weren't thinking of jumping. You were protecting. Because you contracted ghoulism as a gargoyle.
Okay.
And you knew, as an educated man of the parapsychology department, that you needed to move and wrench the veins of yourself, of your soul, away from this place, or else you would become a monster. And you have thus since gone from place to place, slowly understanding it and feeling it and becoming part of it, and then moving away before it gets too bad.
Interesting. I like it.
And that is the conversation we are going to have next time on Fandible Office Hours.
Ooh.
Yep, coming up soon. Probably next week.
Soon-ish.
Probably next week.
Probably next week, but
I think Jesus would like to talk about that.
Oh,
I
yes.
would very much like to talk about
yes.
where I live again.
You've taken everything from me, even my revenge.
So, quick catch up with the last of our listener viewer comments. So first of all, Part-Time Geek loves the idea, says it has a lot of potential and wants to listen. Steve Tortu mentions remembering this original conversation and making excellent, unassailable arguments about how Highlander-esque immortals fit perfectly into the setting.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Part-Time Geek asks if Angela is playing the magic specialist.
Oh my god, that's such a great fucking idea. Right? Oh my god, I never considered that. Oh my god, greenlit.
Steve Dor, reminder, Ghoul Book Club. And and yeah, just a quick celebration from Part-Time Geek, who knew that was coming with I assume with the gargoyle bit, and needs a cigarette now.
Nice.
So
well,
stuff.
I'm glad that we could.
And with the camera focusing on Dogberry,
We're over here.
We're over here. Camera.
Hey, dude, you work for us. You work for us.
like the camera knows what the people want.
Yeah.
All right, so we will. Glad to know that you need a cigarette after that idea.
Yes.
So, so we got a ghoul and a possible gargoyle.
Yes.
And we will be back next week, for another Office Hours.
Yes,
to
indeed.
discuss this and other pressing questions.
Of course.
For Professor Donnelly.
Professor Jesus Rodriguez.
And Professor Dan Rodriguez.
No. Thank you. No problem.
All right. Good night, folks. Thank you
Good
for
night.
joining.
And, remember to get your
Parking
papers in
validate,
by
yep.
tomorrow.
Yep.
There are no extensions, and never make a deal with a dragon.
Yep. Otherwise, the wilds will get you.
And
Are we?
no,
for
we're
real?
not.
No,
Give
we're
me a
not.
second.
No, we're not muted. God